But first, itty bitty disclaimer. Please do not bother and or harass anyone or anything discussed in my videos, as they are simply for entertainment purposes. I greatly appreciate that. Please also be aware that these videos can become pretty trippy, so enjoy. And with all that said, welcome to your very own deprogramming session. What is up? Turds, nerds, freaks and geeks, and all that's in between. It's me, your girl, daisydame, and welcome back to my channel. I am so blessed to have you here today. Today we are talking about the symbolism of a succubus. The purpose of today's video is to discuss the most obvious of the succubus symbolism. Those are the legs of Katy Perry, Kesha, and Ariana. Isn't it wild how you can hate a song the first time you hear it, but if they drill it into your head enough and play it on the radio enough and people start to like it, they start to sing it, they start to bob to it, right? Today we're going to keep it simple and we're going to focus on these three so we can do a bit of a dive and take a closer look. And obviously, we will start with the queen herself, and most obvious, Katy Perry. She seems like the easy choice, has the most clear and obvious signs, such as the tilted crown, to start off. There's a lot that stands out about Katy Perry that should concern you and me. We're gonna start off with the fact that she does the fallen angel symbolism, which we see a lot in pop culture, and we'll see it again. It hasn't been the first time, and it won't be the last. Katy Perry even poked fun at Britney Spears for shaving her head and going a little postal, which in the end, it seems as though Perry herself got to that same point. And at some point, people really gotta start to wonder, why do we see the same poses over and over again? Zoolander, although hilarious, should have taught us something and opened our eyes to the deception and just how little they think of the public and you and I. They truly believe that everything must be so blatant. They don't need to hide these things. They don't hide these things. They won't. They never had to. Why should they? What are we gonna do about it? It's sad that each of these ladies had an opportunity to be a positive role model for young kids out there of all kinds. They could have really done something bigger with their voices and their platforms. Instead, they want you to live that club life, that selfish life, that loveless life, to excess life. They want you believing in every word coming out of their mouths, as it is now. They're calling it as it is. They are influencers. It's also been stated that Katy Perry is not shy to showing off that cannibalism symbolism in her hit Bon Appetit Baby. Strange enough, right? Well, it's gonna get weirder and creepier. It's been stated that Katy Perry has been creepy to a few younger men. We can see this on her show, where she stole a kiss from a man saving it for a religious value. Huh. Why did she need to have his kiss? Her friends who are celebs. Oddly enough, she collects their hair. I wonder why it would be their hair. That seems odd. She's asked for hair from Miley and Taylor Swift, and they both complied happily. After this, Katy Perry has attempted to purchase a covenant where horrible things have taken place. It had a truly dark past, most know that this place would likely be haunted. And for her, it seems as though she would use this in negative ways. Unlike the nuns that were occupying the house at the time. One seemingly passed away due to the stress of legal battles that they endured with Perry. One of the sisters stated that she was clearly someone that was used to getting what she wants. The other sister had collapsed at one of the court hearings, which is honestly rather tragic. Katy Perry isn't the only one. She's not the first, and she won't be the last. But as stated, she is one of the ones who make it painfully obvious, painfully clear what she believes in. As you can see in any and all of these images, it's really easy to find. I also find it really interesting how most of these artists, these musicians, they always start with this cookie cutter, sweet, I'm so innocent, ooh woo face. And they're so marketable. They're so universal in a sense, right? And then they get to this point where they make a choice and they start showing each and every different version of these symbolisms so blatantly. Don't be afraid to let me know what you guys think down below. Have you noticed any of these themes popping up again and again? Don't you find some of them strange? Don't you find some of them strange, especially considering how played out they should be by now? I'm genuinely just curious to hear what you guys have to say about it. I just don't think that they're worried about hiding it. I don't think they really ever have been. And I think that they're more comfortable with these things than ever. And if they are going to make it so obvious, I don't see any reason why it should be an issue if I were to point these things out and say, hey, take a peek. What do you think? I'm just curious. But, of course, like I stated, she wouldn't be the only one we're going to focus on in this video. Now we're going to discuss Kesha. And although Kesha does have a bit of a sadder background, a bit of a sad story connected to her name, she also did just about anything she could to get into the music industry. In the beginning, she really wasn't well known. She wasn't really popping off. She had a lot of help, let's say. And that's not an insult. That's not me knocking her music, her voice, her style at all. It's just the way that Kesha came about. In the beginning, Kesha was willing, obviously, to play the game. She was willing to cover her eye. She was willing to flash the signs, show the symbolism. In fact, she, like Katy Perry, are some of the most blatant, some of the most obvious, that almost in every picture we see, we're like, oh, there's something in this picture we could point out to you and say, that's suspicious, that's a little odd, why would they do this? And oftentimes I get it, people are thinking that you're reading too far into it. It's too much, it's just music, it's just pop music, yes, of course. It's just music that people listen to over and over and over again on repeat, that hits them in their very souls, that can change them as a human being, that can make or break a life. I do know that some of these pictures will be mixed up because they just look so much alike, right? When they're in these different stages, like this is Katy Perry. Would you know the difference from the other ones? If I didn't tell you, would you think that that was Kesha? Most likely, honestly, because your mind knows what these ladies look like, what their style is, what you're gonna see when you see them. Kesha is just very, very obvious. When they take the oath, they have to be. The song Cannibal, come on. Like, if Katy Perry didn't make it clear enough, cannibal is a reoccurring theme. It's what I do. I recognize patterns. And her lyrics are so clear, especially Praying. Trust me, I thought I loved that song. I thought that song hit me in my soul. I sang that ish. I hit those notes. Why is it that they're so addicting, I wonder? But Kesha herself even stated how some of her lyrics, she didn't want to sing them. She knew that by repeating some of these lyrics, get in your brain, they're going to play on repeat. And again, very plain, very obvious. She makes it really clear. I have a heart, I swear. Do you? I know that most of you see the signs by now. I know that these are basics for you. But sometimes it's necessary to go back to the basics. I mean, how long has it been since you heard of Kesha in the song Cannibal? She says, let me read you this. I eat boys up, you better run. I'm a cannibal, I will eat you up. And this wasn't her only blatantly obvious song that was controversial. The one that most people were concerned about, not this one even, right? This is the same song. These lyrics are from the same song. We see more blatant obvious in her face. Oh, okay. You go, girl. There's the fallen angel symbolism again, over and over. The fallen angels, it's like always, they gotta hit these marks. They gotta hit certain ones to be sure. Another song that would really upset her and her fans would be this song, Wanna Die Young. Or We're Gonna Die Young, or something like that. And the song is about partying all night and wanting to pass away early, expire too soon, if you will. To repeat those lyrics over and over and over. When our youth were clearly having a harder time, when our youth is being more open about mental health and awareness and taking care of each other, then why is this not brought into that conversation? Why are we not saying, hey, how did this music affect these kids, and how does it affect them now? And what damage might their lyrics have done? There have been lawsuits where people have gone to court over lyrics and what they might or might not have caused somebody to do. They know the effect that these idols with the idol worship have on people. Again, don't be afraid. Please leave a comment down below. Don't be shy. Let me know your thoughts, your input. I mean, some of her songs, I will admit, I really didn't listen to Kesha at first, just like Lady Goo Goo. But when you hear it so much, it just sticks in your head until you listen to it again and again. It's hard to get out. And again, it's very blatant in her art, in her videos. They go over the top in their videos, and they know it. Even in the halftime show, she hasn't done one, but you guys know. These are all ceremonies. They're rituals. You think they're just dancing in circles and throwing up pain signs for no reason? Come on. This one I had to even censor. I know that it's so frustrating. We can clearly see the symbolism in the hands. They're throwing it up all the time. And last, but certainly not least, another sad child star that seems clear and obvious to me. Her start as a child star, I'm sure, has really helped her out. I think they didn't really see her as a standout role at first. They kind of kept her towards the back at times and made her the very aloof character. And it's unfortunate because Kat did become more dumb over time. It's just, there's no other way to put it. They honestly couldn't keep her from having her talent shine through. And this would cause people preying on her and those talents and making millions off of it. Which then these people They then become products. They can sell their faces, their likeness on everything and anything, dolls, games, video games, so on and so forth, posters, etc. Her co-star even discussed how certain things were really uncomfortable for her. And not just her, but we see it in plenty of child stars, like Bella Thorne, Lindsay Lohan, Amanda Bynes, and Shia LaBeouf. Some people cannot mentally handle all that they are put through as a child star. And when they become an adult, it is truly hard for them to properly vocalize their issues because they're not even 100% sure all of what those issues are. We also know that people in Hollywood prefer those who are willing to do just about anything to get their names and their faces out there. And for some of it, I'm sure we can look at the parents to consider whether they chose the best path for their child's life. But Ariana has worked with and given praise to Dan Schneider. If you don't know who this is, he is a creator of some of Nickelodeon's biggest hits. This man was extremely weird and creepy to most. And it was claimed that he would often try to hit on the stars that weren't as important because it wouldn't bring much light back on him. And when their dreams didn't pan out, well, that was just fine and convenient. He's known for posting some really weird things on Twitter, a lot of feet stuff, toes of children. Whoop! He's also had Ariana do a lot of strange, suggestive things during her time she worked on these shows. Old cast members often speak of what a creep this guy is and how they have to attempt to heal after working with him from the damage he's done to them in their lives. Sadly, these kids and these ladies do have a bit of a sad tale, a really sad backstory. As far as we know, they are human too. But we were simply focusing on the symbolism and how they couldn't be making it more obvious, leading others down their road of shame and sin, which isn't right. It's not okay. And they need to be aware of the power that they yield as an influencer. If you guys like this, please let me know down below. If you agree, if you disagree, either is fine. Blow my mind, let me know. Okay? Thank you again so much to my members. You genuinely make all of this possible. I'll see you guys really soon. Bye, guys.